at the Grove right now, LA. About to go to the Hollywood, not Hollywood, but the Holocaust Museum, and see what's up in there. You know, when all those things happen with different entertainers, and they say something about Jewish people, what they say is, oh, they need to be educated. They need to be educated. They need to come visit the museum. They need to sit down with rabbis and get an education and understand. For the sake of people that view my viewers, I want to understand. For the sake of the people that, you know, that are interested, we want to understand. We're gonna go up in there and see what's up in there. We're gonna go up in there and see what it's talking about, and then I'm gonna give my conclusion on everything that I learned, everything that I see, and yeah. So we're about to get to it. The Holocaust concerns the murder and destruction of the European Jews who were the European Jews. The Torah, or Jewish Bible, is perhaps the oldest written chronicle of the history of a people. The history has been archaeologically verified as far as back as the time of King David around 1000 BCE, when the Jewish people lived in around Jerusalem, Israel, in the hills of the eastern coast of the Mediterranean. Okay. So you see here, this was a children's school book that basically has two characters, racist caricatures of the Nazis and the Jews. And the Nazi is promoted as a strong, hard-working race, while the Jews are promoted as shrewd, cowering businessmen.
classification of degenerate art was neither straightforward nor logical. To clarify the meaning of the term, party members created exhibitions to promote Nazi ideas and indoctrinate the public. The traveling exhibitions Entarrte Kunst Degenerate Art opened in Munich in 1937. The Nazis understood the influence of art, music, and media on politics and social norms and sought to remove any material that went against their ideology. The exhibit was curated in a disorderly fashion with works of art crowded together, left unframed and dangled from the ceilings, all to aid in the propaganda narrative. Interesting, so they knew the power of images. And they knew that with images, whether art or music, it had power to sway people's minds. So if you do your history, you'll know that Jews actually were in America and they learned from black jazz singers jazz music. So this was one of the actual propaganda pieces that the Nazis created. What you see here is a black man with a top hat. He got the gold earring. He has a gold earring. He has the big lips, the caricature with the saxophone and the shield of David. And this was one of them. Do remember is that Anne Frank was required reading in school. Probably for a lot of black people, that was something that was part of the curriculum in a lot of elementary schools. destruction of an ethnic group. Generally speaking, genocide does not necessarily mean the immediate destruction of a nation, except when accompanied by a mass killing of all members of a nation. It is intended rather to signify a coordinated plan of different actions aiming at the destruction of essential foundations of life of national groups, with the aim of annihilating the groups themselves. The objectives of such a plan would be disintegration of a political and social institution, of culture, language, national feelings, religion, and the economic existence of national groups, and the destruction of the personal security, liberty, health, dignity, and even the lives of the individuals belonging to such groups. Raphael Lemkin, Axis Rule in Occupied Europe, 1944. So it has Armenian, Rwanda, Cambodia, and Darfur.
So my conclusion coming out of the Holocaust Museum, we give my conclusion. Everything I saw, there's a lot to go over. First of all, you got to be prepared to do a lot of reading. It's a lot of exhibits. A lot of the exhibits they dealt with the Jews in Eastern Europe, so it was a lot of exhibits from the 1900s and the era of Nazi Germany. So you see a lot of exhibits, but they didn't go back. They didn't go back to the beginnings of the Ashkenazi Jews, their real heritage. They didn't go back to the Khazars. That's what I wanted to see. I thought I was going to see some stuff where it shows their history back and connects them to ancient Israelites. And I didn't see that history. I didn't see the history where they were connected to the ancient Israelites of the Bible. And I'm sorry, but I didn't see it. Now, when you look at the documentation and the history that is there, it's very, very sad that those people, the descendants of the Eastern Europeans, had to go through that at the hands of the Nazis. They had a section for Japanese. They had a section for Pearl Harbor. They did have a section for that. They talked about genocide, which I read, and it had examples such as Rwanda, Darfur, and a couple other places. I didn't see anything. Babe, did you see anything that had to do with slavery, with black people? I didn't see any. Besides the music, but I brought that up to you. I brought that. So yeah, there was nothing about the atrocities that happened to black people, even Native American Indian people. You didn't see anything. It did talk about certain groups, but not Native American Indians or black people. Degenerate music section where the Nazis put out propaganda against the Jews, and one of those, which is I'll put the picture up. One of those was an image of a black man with a saxophone, with a top hat, and a racist caricature. And so the history on that is that Jews were here in America learning jazz from jazz singers who traditionally were black people. That's where jazz music comes from. And Hitler and his generals put that out, right? You want to stop? Man, there's so many dogs out here, right? Let's see. So, Hitler, I gotta sit this way. The sun is tearing me up. So Hitler, the Nazis, they put out that actual image, a black man with a saxophone, and this was propaganda aimed at Jews, because what they understood was that through art and through music you could sway the minds of people. Sounds like somebody learned something. Sounds like somebody learned something about the images that are pushed in music. I don't know if y'all with me or not. One thing that I leave with is what it said in there was never to forget, right? Never to forget. And You know, that's something as Black people we should do. We should never forget what has happened to us. You know, we should never forget those things that happened to our people that still happen today. And I'm just gonna leave with that. That was just my experience. Like, once again, like I said, horrible thing, horrible history. But I've seen worse. I've seen worse. And I still see it today. So with that, I'm gonna end at that. This is Black Authentic Truth, man.